Hello, my customer success friends. Irit Eizips here for CSM Practice, the customer success consulting firm. Today, I wanted to talk about my own experience with customer success. As a consulting firm, we have customers on an ongoing basis. And one of the challenges is that when you provide strategy services and you help people or customer success executive improve their playbooks, or even implement a customer success system, is how do you show and prove value, that you've actually had an impact? Can you even quantify that? And so I've started a few months ago to start providing sort of like a format for the customer success teams that we've been working with to give us a sense of what do they think the impact is going to be, and can they give us a baseline of where are they right now. And the first few times I've done that, the client never got back to me with specific metrics. Can you believe that? They're customer success teams and they're not collaborating. Shame on them. Well, I actually didn't think it was shame on them. I thought it was actually shame on me for not doing it correctly, or, there must be a way to sort of like extract that out of them. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about showing that my firm was able to create value for them, but it also helped them justify back to their executive team. Because if they made a decision to invest in our services, then they need to show that that investment was justifiable so that they can get the investment for the next thing that they're going to do with whomever they choose to do it with. So I changed things up, and today I want to share what it is that I've changed, because once I've changed it, now I actually have a very powerful demonstration of what's the current situation and what are the goals. And then as we do the project, we can keep track of how close we're getting into those goals. What I've critically changed is that if before I define what the scope is, what are we going to do, and then had a high-level discussion about where do you think the impact is going to be, create a assess plan of what we're going to do, and then ask them for the baseline. By that time, they just wanted to get it done because we defined the scope and off we go. They just wanted to go on the races. They didn't want to go back and think about what is the baseline, what is the current situation, how many hours are they spending on this process that we're going to automate and potentially eliminate all the manual work, or how many accounts they're going to save versus how many accounts are they saving now. They had no motivation of doing it once we've defined the scope and we were ready to go. So now, as I'm collecting the scope, I just weave in these questions to just make sure that we can justify the scope that they're picking. So in the very first conversation, before the success plan is ready, I'm already asking questions like, okay, so if they say, well, we want to automate this process, there's a lot of manual work, I ask, how many hours does your team spend on it? How many hours do they spend on manually compiling this or that a week? And they usually know, like if they want to automate it, they kind of have a gut feeling of where it is now. And then I ask another question. So if we automated this and this was successful and worth your while investing in this, what do you think the impact is going to be? Are they still going to spend 6 hours on it every week? Or where do you think they're going to be? Sometimes they say, well, maybe 1 or 2 hours. Or they might say, well, we want to introduce this health score so we can identify customers at risk. So then they say, well, what's your churn rate now? They typically know what it is. And then I say, well, if I can help you automate your health score so that everybody in the organization would know who are those potentially unhealthy clients, and you can get more proactive around that, where do you think you could be within 3 months or 6 months or 9 months? What's realistic for you? Where do you want to be if this was actually effective? They usually know the answer. If I wait to ask these questions after I present the success plan and then try to get back, they usually don't cooperate with me for some reason, or they just don't have the bandwidth. They don't see how they can spend the bandwidth to just find the values for these baseline metrics and think about goals. So I just wanted to share all the solutions that I got, and hopefully that helps you incorporate that effectively in your conversation. If I was a CSM, if I were to ask these questions before I draw in the success plan, I would actually ask them in a QBR or a follow-up conversation to a QBR to have a more detailed discussion around some of the topics that your clients thought would be good to focus on this year and develop a success plan on. But I would definitely try to extract what are the KPIs, make some suggestions, and ask the right questions to enable you to quantify both the goals and a high-level assessment of what the baseline is. Now, if the client doesn't really know what is the baseline, I would ask them, why do they think that this is even a problem? How are they sure this is a problem? So they really don't know. It doesn't have to be an accurate science, right? But if they really don't know, but they have a gut feeling that this is the case, they can send out a survey to the team and ask them how long things take, or they could probably work with someone on their team to create a report. Or figure it out. Maybe it's not a high priority issue, and you can help them focus on things that are. Okay, hopefully this was helpful. I'm wishing you all a fabulous rest of your careers as customer success, and check out our website. We have a lot of different services to help you think through your playbooks and automate some of them so that you can be super successful in them. Take care.